Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Witcher Bloodletting. This is the second chapter, and we are partway through Season 2. Actually, I think the second part of Season 2, Session 2 in Season 2, Clearing the Air. We're in the middle of a big fucking fight, and we just dropped a firebomb on his ass. So let's see how things play out.
I mean, we're really underselling the big shot here, which was Luis dealing nearly as much damage as a fireball.
With a single arrow, and didn't have to break the building to do it. So, I suppose...
Yeah, all he needed was a fucking Witcher to show up and put a Jurgen down for him.
I suppose let's make Rick be defensive as we shit on his character, and then...
As he
Like,
always
we've
do.
already determined this is how it is. We're just
Without
putting...
the fog, y'all would have died already.
I mean, you would have died. We would have ran away upon your death.
As a narrator, I would like to point out that the measuring tape has been taken out. All right, Bastion.
I'm a Witcher.
As the Healy boy, I would like to point out that the healing magic has been withdrawn for now.
Yeah, maybe I would have died.
So
Bastion, just what you doing,
for
buddy?
my turn, I'm just gonna kind of try to fix my leg. Try and tear all this wood out of my leg.
Medicine check.
I was waiting for the natty one, where it's like, oh yeah, you somehow stab yourself in the chest. Are you a vampire?
Actually, you do a pretty good job. So you don't get everything out. Like, this thing still needs to be treated properly, right? But you're able to get the big chunk out and quickly like grab something like a bit of a leather strap and just kind of like strap it tight in that area, which, oh my god, it hurts. Because you're like the parts that you don't get out, the parts that are just like gashed open, so on and so forth, just being squeezed together. But I'll actually make it so that you are no longer moving at half speed. You're actually able to move at your normal speed. Since you spent your action doing that, you can now use half your movement speed to stand up from prone. And now you still have your bonus action left, standing up from prone, doing that. So you're actually good.
Yeah, I'm gonna place myself just kind of at the door, probably right by Tal,
Sure.
in front of Bran for the most part.
Sure.
Tal's like, oh, that thing clawed you.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Well, that brings us to the next person's turn, which is another will-o'-the-wisp that seems to be floating in from nearby, not in the building itself, but somewhere nearby, and it is going to attack one of the three of you that happen to be by the front door. Luis happily being safe out by the back door. So I'm gonna roll a d6. Neil is of course the lowest amongst you, and because it's Pickle Rick Day, he can be the highest. That makes a Bastion sandwich.
Why do you hate me?
This is awesome. So
Try beat a 14. Yeah, you're not gonna have any trouble with that.
you're gonna do another shield, okay?
Fuck me.
So before I announce whether or not that works, would somebody else like to use their reaction to spend another
Yes.
one of their? Okay, roll your d8s there.
I think that's
Wait,
my
is
last.
this our final? Oh my
It doesn't.
god.
No, this doesn't use a Witcher sense.
No,
That was just because of that one time.
you are able to give him like a look out or whatever it is, and he blocks. He's able to dodge.
I like the
attack.
idea that he just shoves him. Whoa, and he staggers back like, what? And then... bzz.
And so the attack actually does in fact miss, and because it just attacked, it is visible next to the three of y'all. And now it's the Foglet's turn. First thing the Foglet does, as everybody's looking down the hallway, which no longer has this thing here, first thing the Foglet does is multiply. All of a sudden, the foglet eeps out tons of fog from around it. More fog eeps up from the ground beneath it. The walls start to have fog coming off of it, and they all seem to condense all around this thing, making different forms until there are several different foglets in front of you. Not one, but several different ones. It
I
looks at
see.
the group of you that are down the hallway in front, and then raises its arms to grab the actual door frame to that hallway, and just rips the door frame down, collapsing down the hallway between you guys, breaking line of sight and effect and everything between the three of you at the front door and it. Then turns around.
No. I mean, we've determined that this building is nearly falling down, and it just dealt even more
He
structural
basically
damage.
collapsed the building on himself.
I think we need a roll to determine whether he has done.
Excuse me. Then it turns around and it goes and it starts walking over and up to Luis. Because of like all the actions it's taken, it doesn't have the ability to attack Luis this turn, but does come up to Luis and is standing lumbering over poor Luis, who's just kind of like, I'm not a witcher. Like as this 9 foot tall hulking thing with an oversized head and big huge claws lumbers over across the hallway towards it. That's its turn though. It multiplies itself. It rips through the thing down, which does even more structural damage, like you were just saying, but more to the hallway than anything else. And lumbers over to Luis. Bran, it is your turn. The hallway in front of you has collapsed.
Is the wisp like in contact with me? Like, where if I were to walk away, would it get an attack of opportunity if I don't disengage?
The way that a wisp attacks, it's actually a melee attack, so yes, it is adjacent to you.
What's the highest point on the building that I can see?
From the outside, so like I said beforehand, the building was 2 to 3 stories tall, depending on like how the attic was structured originally. It's hard to tell with like the deterioration. So the highest point in the building, you can see the roof.
How high is it, feet-wise?
It's probably about 30 feet because like stories, or at least within 30 feet of you is because it's a pivoted roof, at least part of it, right? But an area where you think you're not going to just like slide right off,
I would like to misty step up there.
Absolutely, you easily misty step onto the roof. It's 2 out of your, I think 3 times you can do it.
Yeah, I used my first one last time, so I'm effectively out right now.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're actually out. Oh, as soon as you land up there, I have to have you make me an acrobatics check. But same as I said beforehand, it's a very low DC.
Watch me fail it anyway.
It's a 5, so yeah, you make it no problem.
Hey, I don't die.
So you teleport up there, and as soon as you land there, you land comfortably, but not ignorantly. Like you're aware of how precarious this position is. Okay.
Can I see El Fogelet?
Make me a perception check because you're trying to look through the actual like broken building and missing floorboards and this open roof. You could see shapes moving through, like you could see the movement of shapes through, like again, like a missing chunk of the ceiling and the floor and whatnot there. But like you don't have a clean. If you were firing a bow, you wouldn't have a clean shot. But like, you definitely can see.
But I'm not firing a bow. I'm firing a firebolt.
So
A fireball.
It counts as improved cover, and you're welcome to fire into improved cover.
Okay, well I'm gonna throw out a fireball, which just hits a giant fucking area.
Oh, okay. You have more than 1 third level spell a day. Oh.
I had 3 slots, yeah. I used 1 for Dispel Magic. I used 1 for Fireball.
Oh yeah.
Catch!
Oh boy, Scott.
You don't have to in this situation. Oh, did you roll the same amount of damage? That's funny.
24.
Actually, 2 less. Yeah. So you don't have to make any Arcana checks or anything like that. However, Messy, I'm gonna need a Dexterity save from you, boyo.
What level rogue are you? Not high enough, I think.
That's a good deck save, though.
Okay, so you're gonna take half damage from an explosion of fire in your face. So you're gonna take 9 points of fire damage. I'm so sorry about that, Messy. I actually rolled a natural 3 plus my modifier, so I just rolled absolute garbage again. So you did your full 24 to me, So once again, ruining my day, which is absolutely horrible. I now have to
Hey
make a
Scott, you want to know the
concentration-
best thing?
Please.
I'm going to use my bonus action to convert 5 sorcery points to a new 3rd level spell slot.
Didn't you use a bonus action to teleport up here?
Nope, I can cast it innately 3 times a day. I don't think. it takes
Yeah,
an
well,
action.
it still takes. You cast it innately, but you still required to cast it.
So a bonus action.
Okay.
What?
In that case, I'll save that for next turn.
Yeah, that's right. At the beginning of next turn instead of the end of this turn. Oh, shucks, Scott, you got me. All right, so hold on 1 second. I just gotta roll that check real quick. You know what the worst part about this is? The amount of damage you did was 12. So, sorry, 24. So the DC concentration check was 12. I beat a 10. So if you did 4 damage less or less than that, I would have been fine. So, unfortunately, my mirror image that I put up to protect me against all of your arrows and shit like that has been removed. So, Luis, it is your turn. Big, you just took 9 points of fire damage. As the explosion of fire happened, you were able to kind of like duck out of the way of most of it, allow the explosion because you saw it right as it was going to go off. You literally moved yourself so that the foglet was between you and the explosion. So as the fire like wrapped around the thing, most of it actually did, none of the flames actually licked you. It was only the blast of heat that's kind of like, which don't get me wrong, like a dry heat burn is not a fun experience. If you've ever had one, you know what I'm talking about. So anyways, so the burn does that 9 points of damage to you, but doesn't like singe any flesh, doesn't actually like burn any eyebrows or anything like that. It's just very painful, very uncomfortable, reddening of the skin. It is now your turn. The thing is lumbering over you. All that fire once again burned away the mist, the fog that had formed all of its duplicates.
How does it look? Pretty beat up?
Yeah.
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 So Luis is really scared. His eyes start to water a little bit. And
Oh, you have to make me a concentration check. I'm so sorry. This is a Constitution save, DC 10. I'm so sorry.
Constitution save.
DC 10. Yep.
Oh no.
You make it. You're good. Okay. I'm so sorry. Keep going.
Okay, so my eyes are welling with tears, and I'm gonna run away.
So
Oh no!
Bonus
You see
action?
Detective Pikachu.
bonus action disengage. So
Yep.
you can not take a hit from this guy for running.
Yeah.
Are we going to flat out try to run out of here, or are we going to half speed to move out? Because you never came all the way back in, so half speed you can easily get back out.
Yeah, I just wanna. Yeah, I'm getting away.
Okay.
So that one.
Okay. So you half speed, get back out. Do you want to use your action to dash again to move some more to get the flip out of flop, or do you want to turn around and take a shot?
I'm gonna turn around and take a shot, but I am crying.
Okay. Don't worry, nobody can see it. So.
I'm trying my best, and I don't think I have the balls to do another sharpshooter, so I think I'm just gonna do a regular shot
Sure.
with the hunter's mark. Oof! It didn't matter anyway. All right.
So
Rip
you
my
did
boy.
sharpshooter. You know that a 12 and a 13 is a miss. You know that a 15 is a hit. You don't know about about a 14. If you choose to use a Witcher sense, you have at least a 50-50 chance of succeeding.
We only
It's
have
also outside of Jurden, so it's probably going to take half damage.
we only have one Witcher sense. I'm not gonna do it.
You may have gotten more, but unfortunately Streamlabs is broken, and I can't fix it at the moment, which is frustrating.
It's all good, man.
It's fine. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Fireball?
So you're going to take the miss?
Yep.
Tal.
So, I'm sort of standing outside the doorway that's just through the corridor that is then collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I moved after Luis, so I probably know he's
Crying.
outside at this other entrance, valiantly fighting or digging or something, you know, whatever this poor laborer has been told to do. So my options are I can either try to get in through the collapsed doorway, which I wouldn't do unless I had to. So say I wanted to climb a wall, vault a wall, what's in my way? So I'm presuming, say this is our square room. There's a little corridor here, Tao's here. So if he goes round like this, he could probably vault a wall because Messi came out the wall that's collapsed.
He is exactly that, which is the opposite side of the building, kind of like where a back door could have been at one point in time or something.
Oh, okay. So if we're here, he's on the other side,
Yeah.
entirely opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, all the way around.
Oh, that's all right. Whatever. So how far would you say that is, distance-wise?
So, because your speed is what again, basic?
45.
And don't forget that there is a Will of the Wisp right there amongst you, the three of you. So 45 feet. If you were to dash action move, you could get within sight of him. You would not be able to get all the way around. So if you were to double dash move, you can get all the way around. So if you just spend a key point and just spend this entire turn moving, you can get all the way around to where Luis is, because it's not a small building by any stretch. So you can get all the way around to where Luis is, not necessarily adjacent to him, but over into that region. You'll be able to see the foglet, be able to see him, etc., etc.
Okay, cool. So if I was to use Step of the Wind to dash, so my movement speed is 90, and then also vault, bearing in mind that my jump height is then 6 feet, plus, let's say, an extra 3 feet for my arm. So I've then got 9 foot of reach. Can I shorten my distance enough to make it into melee contact? Presumably with acrobatics rolls.
Yeah. But not to make any attacks or anything like that, I don't believe. Yeah, not to make any attacks. Yes.
So I could make it to base contact.
Yep. You can get there. Who are you trying to get to? Boyo or Big Man?
Big man.
Okay. Yep. I would allow that. But this way, so actually, I would actually even allow you to maybe even make an attack roll, because in this situation, you would just shorten the distance not by going around,
But
fully.
going literally over.
Yeah, exactly, or in somewhat through.
Yeah, because all I could do is go through, up one floor, through the building, out. Yeah.
Spend
Right,
your
I'll try that.
because you want to be able to attack, correct?
Yeah.
Spend
my
your
key
point
point.
for dash. Spend the other one for the other ability.
What other ability?
Oh, sorry, your I was thinking the leap thing required a key point too.
No, it's all the same. Yeah.
My apologies. Okay, so I'm going to want 2 acrobatics and an athletics check from you. And then based off the results, I will tell you the result. Okay. So the first thing you do is like looking for this opportunity. We're gonna go somewhat. What's the word I'm looking for here? Assassin's Creed style here. Looking for this, trying to get your way around. You start like looking around and whatnot. You see the stupid Will of the Wisp next to you, and you're like, "No, I gotta get in there." So the like I said beforehand, what's in front of you is collapsed. That doesn't mean it can't be traversed. So you start going on top of the collapse and clambering up the collapse itself, and trying to find a way to manipulate your way into the actual building up on somewhat the second floor from climbing up the actual collapsed hallway in front of you. Unfortunately, you're having a hard time doing so. So instead, you literally just kind of like grab one of the boards to the wall, and you just like punch it, and it knocks the whole board loose. And then you start shouldering your way into this dilapidated building. The entire thing literally swaying under your feet. You're on the second floor, and you're darting your way across the second floor over to where this big beastie is. And there you are, with like a bit of a hole in the ground, knowing that you can quickly stomp it out and make it bigger, but you're not going to do it until you're ready to make that attack. Standing above where the actual creature is, where it's kind of like looked after, you just saw, as you saw, Luis charging out of the room, and then an arrow come back and like narrowly miss the thing and dunk into a part of the wall nearby. You're standing over the thing, looking down, getting ready
The
to
town's
pounce.
gonna switch the grip on his spear and leap down onto the back. The classic move, back of the neck. Try to really drive the spear in there using all his body weight.
So you have 2 options, and I think we already know from what you described. Option 1, thrust down through the hole. Option 2, which is what you described, literally leap through the hole. Okay.
Yeah, leap
Awesome.
through.
So, because you're leaping through, there's benefits and penalties to that. One of the benefits is I'm actually going to give you advantage on the attack roll. The penalty is I'm also going to require you to make me an athletics check at the end. I'm gonna double check that check in a second. I gotta get my DMG, but why don't you make me the attack roll with advantage?
You're like actually the fastest person on the planet.
No, I am the Flash. 90 feet in 6 seconds. It's pretty speedy.
Wild.
Yeah, that's coming
Meanwhile,
down.
I'm just stuck here in the front with the will-o-wisp. Like, oh.
Where'd he go?
My leg hurts.
And I'm up on the roof like, no, not that wall, you doofus.
Can I, can I Death Strike as well? It doesn't require bonus action, so it's just a key point.
Does somebody have the Witcher book open?
I do.
Can you tell me near the top, it's like around page like 9 or 11 or something like that, it tells you where the alternate rules pages are in the DMG? I just don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to waste too much time looking. Alright, so your attack roll is definitely a hit, sir. Absolutely. Roll your damage.
It will be...
It's page 8.
Yeah, optional rules from the recommended from the DMG's page 8.
Wait, what? It's up page 8 in the DMG. It's page like 2 something or...
Oh,
Wait, what?
For which one? Cleaving through creatures?
Climbing on creatures or whatever it is.
13 there's
damage.
action options.
Action options, that one.
271.
yeah.
271. I'm like at 212 is where I was. It was the opposite end of the 200s. Thank you, sir. Or sirs. Multiple people involved. Alright, 271. Climbing onto a big creature. After making the larger creature, the smaller creature uses its so you can choose strength or athletics or acrobatics. It chooses, so you get to choose the better of the two. I'll take my 13 damage, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay, so I'd roll acrobatics then.
Of course. And you're welcome to roll whenever you'd like. And it has to roll acrobatics, which is the lesser of its two abilities. It's one of the perks of often jumping on big things. Oh, jeez, you got a really good one. I got a 90-20!
God, dude.
Ah! So you jump down, he's like, oh, drive the spear into like the crook of to the center of its back, base of its neck, right over there. You don't get the shot that kills it, but oh man, you drive it and you hurt this creature, and it lets out this like strange, screamish kind of yell, and then it reaches back and it grabs you with its big, huge, oversized fingers, and it holds you up in front of it. Now you're not as small compared to it as you guys were when you fought that big, horny beast. But you know, so it's like holding you like almost like a child. It pulls you off with one hand that has both of its hands holding one of your legs, holding you by your torso with the other one. You still got the spear in your hand, and the way it's firmly get your leg, you're like, oh no, I might not so firmly have my own leg very soon.
Oh god.
It's fine. It's just pulling your leg.
Oh, that's funny. And that brings us to Bastion's turn. But Bastion, before you get to take your turn,
Yeah.
as you start to spring to action,
I don't know. It's fine.
building
You
collapses
have
in on
liquid
itself.
diarrhea.
Oh shit!
No.
The building's.
The building's actually collapsing in on top of them because he ran into a building that was not safe and was falling apart. And I had so many turns, by that I mean like person's actions, before it actually fully collapsed.
Fine, because he's holding Tao just outside the threshold of the building.
Oh no. It has not walked that far. Messi did the smart thing of backing up. So he's like,
And crying.
yeah. Of
I
course.
did the smart thing of
Cry
teleporting on top of it.
So let's see how this all plays out, everybody. First, Rick, I need a dexterity save, sir.
Oh, my
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Oh no!
Oh, it rolled off the one.
It's good.
I'm so happy.
Okay. So Rick, the building collapses down. You're on top of it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't take out the fucking building from between your feet. The dexterity save means you are safe enough to literally throw yourself off of the building and not get caught up into it. You were able to throw yourself at that high of a save at a point where you're only going to take Sorry, Rick. 3d6 damage. Feel free to roll. No, I got it right here. Actually, I got my simple one. 8 points of damage. And because Dunce keeps saving you, you hit the ground. So it's kind of like one of those you ride the building collapsing. And it's almost like you have like a dumb moment as opposed to like a brilliant moment where you're like falling down, you're like and then like you kind of like throw yourself backwards last second. No jumping while falling does not break momentum, but it wasn't falling as quickly as like a straight fall would have been. So when you hit the ground and you hit your back with like a oof. The good news is you land into like a big area of like slopping mud, like, and like you're kind of like somewhat stuck into the ground, and the water is coming up and like getting your face all dirty, your whole legs getting dirty.
Really glad I have that bonus action.
But it takes the wind, it takes the wind from your lungs, but you're okay.
That could have gotten a lot worse, honestly.
Sir. Could you make me you don't get a reflex save because you're currently being grappled.
Fuck that 20.
You don't get a reflex save because dexterity save because you're currently being grappled. Could you make me a constitution save?
Hells yeah, I can.
Shouldn't you roll for the creature first so we see if it dies?
Oh, I'm going to roll for the creature, don't you worry.
No, is the damage that is dealt to the creature from the building so it dies before it can do anything.
Oh, that's funny.
It's not the creature's turn yet anyway, so. Oh!
So the building
I'm
collapses.
witnessing a murder.
The building collapses down on you guys, and it is not a good experience. As the building collapses down, you don't have dark vision or anything like that, do you, buddy-o? You do not, because you're just a plain old human. Could you roll me a perception check with disadvantage?
You're fucked.
Can't see.
2.
Okay. Because of how quickly this all happens, and it takes a few moments to gather your senses, I'm not going to describe what you witness. I'm not going to describe what you experience or anything yet until next time around, because it's all kind of like happening all at once, so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's
gonna
like
take you a moment.
up, down, little bit of light, dark, little bit of light, dark.
Ouchies. You know, that can sort of
Yeah,
like-
lots of pain.
On the forehead. Yeah.
So we're just gonna wait a moment. Bastion, you see the building in front of you collapse. You see Rick go, ah! And then maybe like arm up from the mud, like a thumbs up. And there's still a will of the wisp right next to you alone on the landing in front of a collapsed building.
Just gonna take a second look around and then go to attack the will-o-wisp.
Please do.
I've got other things to worry about.
What a nice young man.
Do you hit with a 16?
Yeah.
Probably.
Do you want to use a Witcher Sense or
Oh,
Precise Strike or anything like that, or no?
Nah. I don't think I can use
That boy's not wearing
I'm
half
out of,
plate. I can tell you that much.
I'm out of superiority die.
Are you sure? You used 2 this session. Oh yeah, because the last session. Oh, because the Will of the Wisp's last session. You miss.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, attack again. Second
Right.
attack.
He is wearing half plate. I was wrong.
Oh wait, I can try to. Could I have added my shield bash onto there as well? Just to,
You still can as your bonus action, absolutely. But
Okay.
why did you? But you attacked first, so go ahead, do your damage.
Womp.
Womp.
There we go.
Ooh.
That was a good point of damage. Good job,
And I hit it
sir.
with my shield just cause.
Oh, of course. And so hitting it with your shield, you actually make an athletics check, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
Because no matter
Wait.
what, you push it backwards automatically. It's just how far you push it backwards.
You got your shield out at the same
Oh,
time
no,
as
no, no, no,
Oh wait, no,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't do that. What am I talking
Dumb.
about?
Yeah, big dummy. So do you have anything else you'd like to do with your bonus action?
Nah, that'll be it. I'm just
Okay.
hitting this guy.
Okay. So you hit him. You hurt it. It's still alive. It's its turn. I mean, he's down there on the ground. You're up here. So it's just going to, zap you. So I'm just going to do that real quick.
It's just going to pick on the weak person who's already wet.
I mean, you're actually doing
Classic.
pretty good shape. Like you've barely taken any hits, and you're actually doing pretty good.
I can't believe I failed that Constitution save.
It actually does hit you, and I'm sorry, I actually got you with a pretty hefty zap.
Shit.
It's not max damage. It's middle of the road. 11 points of damage. Ooh. Ow!
That's not too bad for me.
No. Yeah. Immediately after that one's turn, unfortunately, another wisp does come into view. However, this one comes from a different direction. This one's actually going to be approaching poor Luis, who is all by himself, and he knows that it's there when it attacks him from beyond the veil, from invisibility. He has no means of protecting himself against it. He's just there. Are you kidding me? I attacked with advantage and I missed you? It's that elven luck. So obviously you see this whole building collapse. You saw him jump in. You saw the stab. You saw all this stuff. You know, your eyes are like red and rimmed with tears and whatnot. And you see that. And all of a sudden you see him step through and you're like happy. You like wipe away a tear because you're like happy for a moment. And then it grabs him off and you're like nervous, knocking an arrow, getting ready to like help your companion here, or, you know, however you might think of him. And then the building collapses. And you're like, oh shit. And then as you're like trying to process this, all of a sudden you like hear like a static noise, and like you hadn't fought one of these things before, but you heard, you had like seen and experienced it from like before, like a little bit distant when you were climbing on the roof and they were fighting it before. You hear something just out of instinct, you like juke to the side just a little bit, where does a zap comes out and just barely misses you, and there's a glowing orb right next to you, and you're all by yourself.
The
Brad,
ghost.
it's your turn.
Okay. I'll groggily stand up and I'll try to get vision on where Talabast and Louise were.
Well, now that the building's collapsed,
There's not a lot to climb on.
get vision of them. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of rubble in your way for Luis because he's on the other side of the building, right? So it's kind of hard to see them. You're gonna have to either climb on the rubble or move around.
I'm gonna move around 30 feet.
Okay. So you start making your movement around, and at some points in time, like the rubble is lower, higher, either way, you're looking in that direction, and you can see a glowing orb zapping at Luis. Luis is kind of like, getting ready to like knock an arrow and try to shoot an arrow maybe at this thing. Like not entirely sure how he's going to handle the situation. You see it. And you moved 15 feet because you already moved 15 to stand up.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
It wasn't easy to see because, like as we said beforehand, the light's starting to go down a bit, and it's a glowing orb. So,
Yeah. I'm gonna try to chuck a firebolt at it.
sure, make me your attack roll, sir.
Don't fuck it up.
You hit Luis. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow! Fucking 4 fire damage.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. That's fine because you missed. So,
What?
an 18 missed.
There's a high AC. I don't like them.
Yeah, well,
These are not standard will-o-wisps.
Google Will-O-Wisp Orc Pub. That's just the easiest way to get the stats.
No, you Google Orc Pub.
AC 19.
Oh, that's spicy.
Yeah. Yep.
Say
Wow.
what?
And they have a decent shock, and they can more or less auto kill somebody that's at 0 health. Oh, these things are cruel creatures. Okay.
And you keep calling will-o-the-wisps as well, which is just wrong.
Well, I mean, that is what they're called in other cultures. So, anyways,
Fucking disgusting. Holy shit.
that brings us right. Like, only +4 to hit doesn't matter when they hit you. It hurts. Luis, like that's how you take down a what are they called? Barbarians. Attack them with these things. They'll whiff fairly often, and you get to ignore their resistance to damage. Bzz.
No.
All right, so Luis, it is your turn.
First of all, when you described the wisp sneaking up on me, you said that I was watching what happened to Tal. So I want to know what happened to Tal since I was watching.
Oh.
The building.
You've been-
The Tal tried to wriggle free, but unfortunately was not able to do so. You actually saw. Make me a perception check really quickly.
I want Tal to be like hanging onto the edge, and he's like, "Fly, you fools!" and then gets down.
Literally the beam that Tal was just standing on beforehand, maybe because just by sheer coincidence, or maybe because Tal's such a big boy, he had hurt that beam, that like support beam, by standing on it. Big old gut. But that beam cracked and split from the collapsing of the house and drove like a pike through the back of the foglet. So came through the thing and like speared it to the ground, but then the whole walls and everything collapsed down. Unfortunately, actually with the 24, you were able to see that what's his name there, Tal, kind of wormy and slimy and wiggly for a big boy.
Keep insulting him.
Reached out for the beam and tried to grab it and try to pull himself underneath the foglet itself, trying to like grab it, like, like use it as almost like a meat shield. Whether or not he was successful,
we won't know until he rolls.
We won't know until his turn.
Okay, well, so, how does Hunter's Mark work for that then? Can I change targets with it?
Oh, absolutely.
It's a bonus action
action.
to change
Yep.
target, yeah.
Okay, so I'll change target to the wisp that's next to me,
Sure.
and I like he's kind of a bitch. He's kind of a bitch to hit.
Little bit of a bitch.
I kind of think I'm just gonna. I don't want to like overkill it, but I think this is like one of the last things that are left in this fight, so I'm gonna Zephyr Strike it.
This is unfortunately you would have
I
to use your
can?
bonus action to use Zephyr Strike.
Okay, so if I don't do Hunter's Mark, then I can do Zephyr Strike.
Absolutely. Okay, can you click that so we can see it? Because this is actually a really cool feature.
There you go.
So for the duration, your movement does not provoke attack of opportunity, allowing you to pull some old 3.5 bullshit where you cast a spell, you step back literally just 5 feet, so you don't get disadvantage on your attack roll or anything like that, and you can fire at it with your bow with advantage on your attack roll because of the way Zephyr Strike works. You're making your attack.
Hit or miss.
Yep. Let's see. Make your attack roll for me, sir, with advantage.
No,
And advantage gives you sneak attack as well.
It
It
does.
says hit or miss.
Oh,
Hit or miss.
think
Your
that
walking.
will-
Oh yeah. Walking speed increases, but we'll worry about that part in a second.
So
I love this image. Like he dodges, and then he like, as he draws an arrow, just slides back.
Yep.
So I have advantage,
Yep.
and then it does extra damage too. So I'm not gonna sharpshoot.
Correct.
I'm just gonna go for the full.
also, it's got a 19 AC. It's going to be a bitch to hit.
Not for him.
He does it.
All right. Roll your
That-
damage and your damage and your damage.
I think it's already dead, but yeah. Is it dead?
Nope. Roll your
And
sneak attack
sneak.
damage.
Is it dead?
Oh,
Oh, gorgeous.
damn,
So
son.
That's
so-
so lame.
15. Yeah. 15 damage. So you so this is what happens. Like all of a sudden you kind of like well up. See, your character's not a spellcaster. The fact that there is magic in you is like some latent weak ability because of your elven blood that you've been able to kind of like you yourself perceive it as being like your just raw skill or talent. You don't see it as the magic that maybe somebody who's skilled in the art would be able to perceive it as if they were like kind of concentrating on that and watching it. But like a gust of winds with like a thrust of your legs slides you backwards just barely out of this thing's way as you draw an arrow and fire at it, hitting it straight into the ball itself. Unfortunately, you don't kill the thing, but the arrow sticks right into the center of it, and all of the light starts like dancing and bouncing all around it. It starts like lighting up the arrow itself and down into itself. This thing is, if you understood its physiology and how it works, whatever, maybe Bran does, you really hurt this thing. It is seriously messed up, but not quite dead yet. In making that attack roll, you increased your speed by an additional 30 feet. So your speed right now is 60 feet. You've already moved 5. You just move 55 more feet. You can literally backtrack super quickly. Every step you take, it's like one of those as you run, like there's more of a gust or like a lift of winds that pushes you with each additional step, getting you quicker than Bran would have expected over to Bran, assuming you wanted to like regroup a bit. and you can make your way all the way to Bran. The two of you guys now side by side with this thing across the way, an arrow still inside of it. Kind of the arrow waving around as the orb itself is kind of like flipping and moving.
I'm gonna be honest, Daelric.
Sure.
I wish I had extra strike.
But you've used the other one 4 or 5 times already this combat, so. All right, Tal. Like you haven't fallen through floorboards or taken attacks of opportunity yet. Any of those? Tal.
It just happens
Tal's
to be
not
away
here
at this
to
very
know.
fucking moment.
It's probably
Please come again later.
So this is
Oh.
what happens to Tal.
Wait, before you ASMR.
Oh,
Deck.
I skirt
he
over
did.
to when I skirt over to Bran. I'm standing next to him and I'm like, I think Tal's dead.
Bran just stands there exhausted, covered in mud, like, shit.
Alright, I go to Tal.
Sorry about that. Phone call.
Tal, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm a little bit disappointed that I'm unable to find any way to lower my damage that I may be about to take.
Damage. What are you talking about? Woo. Well, the good news is you're still conscious. The bad news is you're trapped underneath a bunch of rubble with no air. Your first save was that Constitution save of a DC 6, and your Perception check was a 5, which means unfortunately you didn't really get to witness anything other than you grabbing at the beam and pulling yourself under it, and then things collapsing in on itself. You really weren't able to witness much of what happened as the building collapsed on you and the foglet. That first Constitution save being a failure, which is with a 6, means that you were not able to take a gasp of breath or take much air into your lungs between then and now. You don't have very long before you start suffocating. It's your turn. You don't have much air in your lungs. If you sit and wait, you have more because you're relaxed, right? There's barely any air around you. It's all covered in dust and mildew and mold and stuff like that. Like, it's not clean air. Breathing hurts to do. It causes coughing, so on and so forth. But there is technically a small amount of air around you. Physically exerting yourself reduces the amount of time that you have, but gives you a chance to free yourself. You're trapped. And you can't see a damn thing. You think you know which way is up.
Right. So, Tal is
Dead.
somewhat trapped underneath the corpse of this foglet, yeah?
You believe so, yes.
I mean, surely it's got to be. Like, I mean, he's got his hands out, right? He can feel something horrifying.
Roll me a perception check. Disadvantage, once again, you're blind.
But this isn't reliant on vision.
I-
It's still disadvantage. Yeah?
Yeah, because of the you'll understand why in a moment. Or you might understand why. You're reaching out. You think you're touching flesh. It could be, I don't know, rotted wood. It's really hard to tell what it is that you're touching. You think it might be the foglet. You can't see, but it's hard to distinguish between the two. Your whole body is numb and ringing. Like, every part of you is just on fire at the moment.
I wonder what the foglets are warm-blooded.
They're
They look
undead
like
creatures.
mammals.
They're undead creatures.
They're undead? They're necrophages?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So no.
But they have blood. Right. So Tal...
I never even got to
Well-
make a claw attack with the thing.
Would Tal know, because he saw this huge beam go piling through the thing, right?
Mhm.
Okay, right. So presuming that what he just touched, he's like, yeah, this is probably the foglet, right? I ended up underneath it. Yeah, so he's gonna reach around until he can feel, hopefully, the sort of splintered tip of this beam. that he also would expect it to be wet, slick with blood. So he's going to reach around, see whether he can find that.
You can with the same check. That's actually a much easier check. You can find that.
And then he might not look it, but he's a wise boy. So he will draw his dagger, holding the blade, and he will start taking slow breaths, and he starts to try and slow himself down. He's not a true monk, but this is a crude form of meditation. He knows he can't do anything here, and he's just going to gently start tapping the hilt on this beam, hoping that the beam travels all the way out and that someone will be able to hear something.
So, two things. One, I need a Constitution save from you.
Oh boy.
Oh! You bought yourself some time, boyo. Oh, yes. All right, and two, someone recently just got a mutation, and here's someone,
Ow! What's that noise?
yeah, tapping on that beam of wood. All right, so Edgar Allan, piece of shit. All right, so after that is going to be Bastion's turn. You still have your stupid Will-o'-the-Wisp in front of you.
Yeah, I still gotta kill this thing. Then save town. Yeah, I'll just beat the shit out of this orb.
Okay, you hit.
Wow.
It's a clean hit. And you kill
good.
it.
Good damage.
Yeah.
Done. Nice and easy, the way it should be for a Witcher.
And I'm gonna, I guess, move towards that hallway and start moving away the rubble where he like tore it down. Try to tear into that.
So honestly, you can just climb on top of all of the rubble.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It is not settled. This is like if you've ever been to a collapsed house or a dilapidated building or anything like that, anything has fallen in on itself and climbed around like with your friends while you're like skipping school or something like that.
What kind of life have you lived?
If you've ever
Things
done
were different back in the days before the internet.
before you could just like entertain yourself at all points in time with this. So you usually things been settled for years and it's relatively safe as long as you're not an idiot or unlucky. But this has just fallen. It is not settled at all, so it's still dangerous to make your way through there. However, you can easily clamber across the top of this thing. By easily meaning like you can physically do it.
Yeah.
However, to make sure that you don't, be an idiot or be unlucky, roll me an acrobatics check.
I will do that.
91, the beam hits Tal.
So you rolled poorly, which just means that as you're like clambering up there and trying to get there, not only do you not make any like real big headway, but unfortunately you end up getting your foot stuck inside another spot as like you literally put your foot through another floorboard and then stuff like shifts a little bit on you. It's not the end of the world. You can definitely get back free again, but you're gonna need to roll me an athletics check, and this is unfortunately athletics, a strength save, but this will be the end of your turn.
Okay. And I roll it now?
Please. Okay, so you're able to pull yourself free, but you weren't able to make yourself much of a distance. As for exactly where he is, you can easily pinpoint where the location, like the area, wherever it is, like altitude-wise, is a different conversation. You have to get there first. You can easily pinpoint exactly where that's coming from because your Witcher ears are so good that if somebody's invisible, you can pinpoint where they are. So getting there is just physically get there, and we'll see where things go. Okay, after that is going to be the one that had attacked. Let's remove you from initiative. Had attacked you before, Luis. It is going to continue to fly over towards you guys. It has an insanely fast flying speed, so it is going to fly up to where you are. You moved 55 feet, which is literally 5 feet more than where it can still attack you at the end of its turn. It has a fly speed of 50, so it's like it just barely can't attack you. So unfortunately, it comes up to the two of you guys, but cannot harm you. It just makes its way there, but turns invisible as it goes. This is where something else comes into play. Rick, can you make me your Constitution save from when you took that 8 points of damage, falling and going?
Oh no, a
Constitution
bloodsucker
save?
attacked to his back. Attached.
This is from the concentration check from that fall. So you would have lost your ability to see magic, so you also see it turn invisible as it approaches you guys. Unfortunately, it does not attack this turn. That is its turn. Before we go to Brand's turn, everybody except for Tal, make me a perception check.
Perception.
Fucking hell!
So Luis and
boy.
Luis only, you actually, so Bastion's unfortunately trying to pull his foot free from whatever he's doing. Bran is just like, oh shit, I can't see. And it's like, okay, this thing's coming for me again. I'm gonna die. Look how fucked up I am. This thing's coming at me. It's invisible. But however, Luis, who's kind of got a stronger grasp of the situation, he's not scared of this thing at all because, you know, he's already delivered a pretty hefty blow. You got Magic Boy next to you who could easily kill this thing. You know, you saw him throwing fire and stuff like that. You might have to have words about that in a moment. So you're not as distracted, and you probably already looked towards the building because you heard, you know, Bastion like clambering up and they go, oh shit! And, like, you're watching that direction anyways, when all of a sudden you see from within the building itself, a will-o'-the-wisp rises up from within the building itself and starts flying off away from the building and off into the actual like woods and whatnot. Like literally just is leaving, more or less like fucking off. So like it rises up from the area and it's going like the opposite direction of where you and Bran happen to be, just like into the woods. It is Bran's turn. Only you saw that, Luis.
Hey, does that wisp still have an arrow sticking out of it?
The one I had said beforehand that eventually drops the arrow out.
Okay.
Yeah. So the one that's was invisible, that came up to you guys invisible, does not have the arrow. Bran, it's your turn. The thing's somewhere in front of you. Like, we're talking like, you know, as it was turning invisible, it's like somewhere immediately in front of you. You just can't pinpoint exactly where it is.
I'm gonna put a hand on Louise and say, I need a moment, and I will step behind him and I will cast second level Cure Wounds on myself because I'm at 8 hit points. I'm not feeling very happy.
I thought you were going to Burning Hands. It's just like...
I don't have a first level spell slot left.
Oh, bonus
Actually,
action, regain some stuff.
That's a better suggestion, yeah.
Oh, no. You do the healing thing. It's okay. I'll take another attack. It's okay. So roll
You raise a good point. Nothing has been rolled yet, sir.
Oh, damn it.
I will use bonus action, convert 2 sorcery points for another first level spell slot.
Oh, I should have
And
waited.
I'm just gonna use the Burning Hands.
Oof.
How much damage is it? 11?
And I think I'm fluffed the roll because it seems to revert back to an attack instead of
That's weird.
an AoE type of deal,
Hold on, let me look at your
which is
actual
really
character
fucking
sheet.
annoying.
Yeah, let me see your character sheet really quickly. If I can fix that. Spells.
Like it
I
doesn't
wanna
do it
cast Burning
with
Hands.
Fireball, but fucking Burning Hands does it every.
Oh,
fucking
no
time.
attack. That's why. Okay, there we go. Because this spell attack had one on there. Re-roll it.
I've
for me.
literally turned that off like 3 times now. I don't know.
That's annoying. Maybe because every time there's an update, it reverts back to these old.
Maybe
problems.
you're getting Rick rolls.
Oh, just roll your damage.
No. That's 13 fire damage, sir.
Fuck. Okay. Let me just check something. I have. How much health? Even if I make a save, it doesn't matter. Kill it. God
And I drop to a knee. 'Cause I'm
Alright.
getting visibly more exhausted.
Luis, it's your turn. The one in front of you just died.
Awesome.
As all the other will-o'-wisps around, except for the one that's like flying off, that's like fucking off into the distance.
How far?
It is. Hold on. So from where the point of the building it came up from you, is probably about 50 feet, and it double moved, so that's 50 plus rising up and everything. So it's about 115 feet. Nothing crazy. That's like within a normal attack roll of a bow, if that's what you wanted to do.
And I can see it.
Taking the wisp's
Yeah.
eyes in guard.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it's a ball of light.
All right. I'm gonna shoot this bitch.
Hello, Hero Wolf. While he's shooting this bitch, there is a YouTube channel. It's actually youtube.com/Daelric. And welcome.
Is it? Oh shit. A 19 AC though.
It is a Will of the
Ugh.
Wisp. You do still have one Witcher sense left.
I do. Do I still have Zephyr Strike?
That unfortunately ends at the the creature's outside of 90 feet, so you can move up first to get it within 90 feet if you want to add your hunter's mark onto it.
You know what? I'm just gonna try it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna YOLO. Got to beat a 19. And do I get sneak attack on it?
You do not get sneak attack. There's nothing
All right.
that you're doing, unless you did Zephyr Strike again. Unless what you did with your bonus action was to trigger Zephyr Strike. Then you could. Then you
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
get
do it.
advantage, which would give you sneak attack. Oh my god! Yeah, Zephyr Strike's probably your best bet, right?
Yeah.
Can you cast
Yeah.
that a second time?
Let me check if I have a slot. I have one slot. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Go for broke.
Let's do it again. So that's advantage,
Okay. You.
and it'll give me sneak attack and Zephyr Strike damage.
Mhm.
So I don't need to roll sharpshooter as much as I'd like to.
Just roll a natty. Just
well,
do it.
Well, what's your modifier? Okay, never mind. Too late.
25.
Yeah, so I was gonna say you might want to do sharpshooter because you have a backup
Well-
option, but
Yeah, it would have been. If we got that roll, it would have been just a flat 20, which would have been 1 point higher then. So I would have had to roll a 17.
It
or
would have
higher.
been really risky.
yeah.
So-
Well, you had a Witcher sense left. Either way, so do your damage. 7 plus 4
Nice.
plus
Yay,
7.
that's
Wow.
better.
That's
18.
pretty nice. That's pretty nice. 18 damage. So you do hit the thing for 18 damage.
Come on, man.
It does not. Hold on. Because your attacks do not count as magical, it's not inside the Yrden or any of that
Ugh.
stuff. That
Does the
18
force damage get halved?
My apologies.
The Zephyr
Zephyr
Strike
Strike
damage.
was 4 damage.
That
And it
does
also
not.
is-
That does not get halved. So
Yeah.
it's going to take 7 plus half. So plus 5 is 12 points of damage. So it takes 12 points of damage as it's flying off. That is
Still alive.
it. So we can just go to Tal for a second. Tal, you're literally just making a Constitution save and doing the same thing. It's just your DC was not increasing from last turn because you rolled so well. So every round it gets higher as you're trapped underneath the rubble, incapable of breathing.
Oh!
Why'd you roll with disadvantage, sir?
Yeah, well,
Did I roll with disadvantage?
You did.
I don't see a disadvantage on
Yeah,
my
I
own.
did.
I see a 1 and a 19.
I see 2 dice, but I don't know. If you hover over, it's only
Oh,
a
yeah.
1
That's-
d20.
That's really strange, isn't it?
huh? Wait, do it again. Roll it again just to see if it happens again.
Yeah. Okay, well,
Oh.
we have to accept the
Alright.
1.
Well, we're gonna
Yeah.
take.
Either way, it's a fail, but you have to accept the 1 because that was not. It was just a glitch in the graphical,
Wait,
not
did
a
yeah.
you
actual.
hear me stomping around up there?
Yeah.
He's a little in his own mind at the moment. You unfortunately take another breath, but in the way you had settled and everything, you had disturbed a bit of like I said, there's mold and stuff like that's down there, like a bunch of spores that sprayed off from the natural black mold that just forms in a bog area, and you've just inhaled a nice deep lungful of black mold. And so,
I'll die of a fungal pneumonia after this, even if I survive. So who cares?
So you're starting to cough a bit. Your DC just jumped by a couple of bits. Your air is getting much thinner. That's Tal. Let's go to Bass. Bass, you pulled yourself free. You continue to make your way over there. It's just an acrobatics check.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, acrobatics check. You're able to easily make your way over to the spot where you hear the banging coming from, and when you're using your Witcher sense, your ears, you find over to that beam. You place your hand on it, and you can feel the beam. You can see the slant of it, and then you're kind of really focusing in and listening, and you can actually hear the banging, not just the vibrations up here, but the actual banging of the metal on the wood. Hold on one second. Let me just answer because it's in chat. So, sorry. Usually I don't talk to chat during streams of D&D versus like video games. Usually I just type to it. But to answer that question, I have been really bad. Literally after the session's over, I'm going to upload all my past ones for the Witcher game. All right. So that'll be caught up by the end of probably next week. Witcher will be completely caught up with the way it releases. So you'll be good to go moving forward on YouTube. My apologies, Bastion. So back to you. So the way that you, as you're like tapping on the beam down below with the metal, you can actually hear it. You think he's probably about like 6 feet or so beneath the surface because of how much the building had collapsed into him. The slate from the roof, all the wood, whatever other stuff was there, still left inside the home, that had collapsed down. You're gonna have to start digging, and you're gonna have to start soon.
Would I be able to determine where the best spot to start digging would be? Like where it's like, it looks like it would be easiest to start pulling away.
Of course. We're going to roll your best check, intelligence. Intelligence check for me, sir.
Yes. You're gonna die.
Listen, I'm not just crap. I use YouTube just as an archive. Okay, I'm a Twitch person that uses YouTube as an archive.
Yep, he's a professional Twitch streamer.
He's a professional.
All right. So, anyways, the Lost Initiative one's a lot more done because I make Mike do it. So, anyways, so the actually, you think you're thinking to yourself, you're like, if I can muster up the strength, which you did recently drink a potion, the strength one.
Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt, thank you. You did recently drink a Thunderbolt. If you could actually straight lift this beam with others assisting you, lifting this beam might expose enough of like the area down below that they can actually grab stuff and lift, and maybe even he can assist you on the inside. But like looking around, it looks like this beam that was supporting the building before still is supporting a bunch of the junk that fell down. That might be your best bet. All you did was walk over here and think for a few moments and listen. You can start with your strength check, or you can wait for others to come over before you do that.
I'm gonna call others over and then get started.
Okay.
So basically, like, let them know that I'm gonna be doing it.
Don't talk to me, tell them.
All right. We're going to need to lift this beam to get Tal out of here. And then I'm gonna just start lifting.
Okay. So
Do you think he's still alive then?
I think so. I hear him inside there. I assume it's him.
Well, if it's gonna be that
that's right.
spotless,
You all
I guess he
unearthed
deserves
the
to live at
public
this point.
discourse.
All right. So just roll strength.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you grab the beam, you start. This is the first time ever, Tal, that you realize, like, through your coughing, you actually hear, like, rubble, like, moving and shifting. And it's one of those things where for a moment you're thinking, oh, shit. Is it still alive and it's starting to move? The beam itself is moving, so on and so forth. But then you allow hope to make its way into your heart that it's hopefully your friends. You don't make much movement there, Bastion, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
The wisp continues to fly, another straight 100 feet away. It's getting away, so now it's you didn't move up really or anything like that. So it is like, what did I say it was for you? 115 feet. Now it's 215 feet away. I believe that's outside of a normal reach of a bow. You would have to attack from now on with disadvantage. Beyond that, because it's now flying, it hasn't quite gotten to tree cover yet because it's flying over a bit of water, so there's no like cover or anything like that yet. But of course you have sharpshooter, which means that you can shoot up to 600 feet without disadvantage, and even if it has 3/4 cover, you can ignore that. Mm-hmm. So do you intend to attack the wisp as it's running away, just like F these things?
I would have to attack with sharpshooter, right?
Yeah, no, you don't have to use sharpshooter.
Oh,
you
that's
all
just
those
okay.
A la carte. Yep.
I might.
Okay.
What about it?
Take an attack roll then. You can start at least walking, making your way slowly.
Does he have a longbow?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how far away was it?
215 feet.
Oh, so it's still within range, but not within.
Yeah, he can attack up to 600 without disadvantage now.
Yep. So you make your attack roll as you're walking forward, probably towards the rubble building.
Did you just shout yeet?
If
Hey,
you
how many
wanna,
Witcher Sense do we have?
if you wanna actually hit it, you're gonna have to use a Witcher Sense because you have nothing else to enhance that roll. You have 1 Witcher Sense left, and you know that you'll be able to hit with what's that? 5 out of 6.
19.
So
Before you decide on this, we will have extra Witcher Sense because it just hasn't been calculated yet, technically.
yeah, it's unfortunately it's just with Streamlabs being broken, I can't see what anybody would have spent points on, so on and so forth. You know, if it's one of those things where Steve said in chat he probably would have spent points onto it. If Steve's still in chat and wants to say, I'm definitely going to buy a few Witcher Cents, I'll just deduct
I'm pretty
the
sure
amount.
he's left.
Yeah,
at this
he
point.
went to sleep. He
Yeah,
said.
did he? Yeah.
Said good night. Yeah.
So I could wait another turn, and I can do this a few times,
Witcher sense it, boy. Eh?
or I can Witcher Sense it now to kill the wisp.
Don't let this all
Wisps
be
have
for
the
naught.
ability to turn invisible, so
Yeah, is it worth it? I mean, it's just one wisp.
Yeah, but what if that wisp, or what if we need to
Did-
kill all the wisps to prevent this job from reoccurring? There's clearly a reason it's ran.
Yeah, because it keeps getting killed, but it keeps getting back up.
Mhm.
Well, there's been more than one wisp, so it's perhaps this conglomerate of wisps that were causing
Alright,
the...
so just to see what happens when we roll the Witcher Sense, is that what you guys want?
Yeah,
you,
Go.
I still have to roll higher than a 1.
have to roll 2 or higher. He rolls
you
a
can
1.
do
Don't
it.
be shit.
You
Alright,
can
here
do
we
it.
go. I'm gonna Witcher Sense Daelric.
Okay, I don't want to watch. All the
Clutch your
pressure's on there.
kick.
Roll a 2.
Oh! all right.
That could have been really
Cut
bad.
it fine.
Roll your damage, sir.
Let him in.
Ugh.
Oh.
Ha!
Okay. You
Oh.
you hurt the thing. So it's
Yeah,
what 215 feet away right now.
Is that sneak?
You sneak attack? No, nothing triggers sneak. Nothing triggers. Let me look at your character sheet for all your little triggers there. It was too far away. You never put the whatchamacallit on it. No hunter's mark. It's not a favored enemy. It's none of those things, right?
Up.
Yeah, no, it's undead.
Could I pre bonus action? Alright. I don't have any spell slots anyway, so
Yeah, you have nothing. I don't think you have anything you could have used a bonus. Technically, you could use a bonus action to double move to start like trying to get closer to it, but like, why? You know?
just to see what happens. I already burned a Witcher Sense on it.
Okay. Are you climbing up the rubble too to get closer to like where your friends need your assistance while you're doing this?
Yeah,
Okay, just make me an acrobatics check. It should be an easy one.
that's so silly. I'm upset.
Okay, you're fine as you're making your way through the rubble. Okay, so that brings us to Bran. Bran, this thing is 215 feet away. You see he's fired 2 shots at it. Do you have anything that can get anywhere near close enough to that? If you double moved, could you get... Or you can't double move, you can single move. Anything that you can do?
I can technically attack it with disadvantage, but I'm just gonna move over to Bastion and start helping.
So you're not going to try to shoot this thing down?
No, my magics don't get that far.
Yeah, that's the one big nerf they actually... The biggest nerf I think they actually did to casters in 5e was they took away their range. Like all of their range. Like crazy. But, okay. So you start going over to Bastion to assist him. Okay, you
Can
make your
Tal
way-
shoot from under the rubble with disadvantage?
No.
His crossbow's not actually on him either.
Could you do me a favor? Could you roll me acrobatics check, please, there, sir? You make your way
Oh.
over there, no problem, to help Bastion. Luis, it's back to... Wait, how did I... Oh, on its turn, when it moved away, I triggered your turn, which is right now, then. So that's kind of like how that happened. Sorry, so you already took your turn. Now it's Tal. Tal, make me your Constitution save. Then we're going to go to Bastion.
Tal presumably hears noises on the outside.
Uh-huh.
And he's gonna sheath his dagger, and he's losing his composure here. Things are getting more and more difficult to breathe. He's losing it now, and he's gonna grab hold of this beam, and he's gonna shove with all his might.
Okay, you're going to make me a strength check. Oh, wait, no,
Thanks.
you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're going to give Bastion advantage on his strength check. Okay.
Okay.
Bastion, Oh, and you made your con save? You did not. Give me your con save. This time with disadvantage because you physically exerted yourself.
Those are some good rolls.
Did better than previously with disadvantage, of course.
Okay, you were able to stave off passing out. Edging forward just a little bit. Okay, after that, Sebastian.
Strong
God
boy
damn it.
advantage time.
You've also got me helping. I'm there.
Okay, so you grab this beam and you just start lifting, and as you're lifting and pushing with it, all of a sudden you feel like something else is like, as you like, you know, sometimes when you're pushing something that's very heavy, you have to like stop for a second, almost like lose a little bit of the ground you made to re-grip, and then like push harder, and then like lose a little bit of the ground to re-grip and push harder. Well, as you kind of like prepare for that, you don't end up losing ground. It's almost like something acts as like a pin down below, stopping it from like coming back towards you as you re-grip further down the beam to push harder and harder, allowing you to actually get a lot more progress done than you expected. Immediately, what's his name? Bran kind of goes over, and with a combination of maybe like Mage Hand or his physical hands or whatever, starts like moving rubble and stuff like that out of the way, trying to like dig down further, deeper, trying to get to where you believe that Tal is trapped below. And so you start like doing that. You don't get there yet. It's Bran's turn, but before it's Bran's turn, could you do me a favor, Messi? Could you roll me a D100? Before you roll that, /roll space 1D100. Before you roll it, though.
Oh my god, Tel's gonna end up like Haven.
If you roll between a 36 and a 70, it turns invisible. If you roll outside of that, it does not.
Ooh.
Hey!
Okay. Bran, it's your turn.
I'm just gonna keep shoveling like rubble away with Mage Hand.
Okay, so you just assisting. At this point, you can actually roll your strength check. If you had Boyo over here helping you, one of you two would also be rolling with advantage. But you're just rolling by yourself.
Let me check. Just
Sorry, by the way, for stopping to talk to chat for a second. He was just, we were in a
It's
moment.
entirely unacceptable, Scott.
I was
Oh, yeah, it's
totally
fine.
going to
You can't
ignore him
carry
for
more
like
than
20
No,
10
minutes.
it's
pounds.
fine. We know what shit show this is, Scott.
that's a save, but it's the same roll effectively.
Gotcha. So you don't really do much by way of assistance, which I think everybody kind of assumed anyways.
Damn.
So,
Yes.
It's fine. I was DPS this time around.
Luis,
Yeah, that's true.
315 feet away. No, fuck this thing.
315 feet. That's still within range.
It is.
That's nothing.
Lewis, like, I can do this all day.
Run an arrow.
I've got vermin at longer range than that.
He's not crying anymore.
Use my my great sword as an arrow.
Then you have to go get it.
That's more of a
yeah, he just
ballista
misses
bolt.
and it just goes splut into the swamp, and it's like, ah, shit, I didn't think this through.
So it sucks. I don't have any spell slots. All I can do is just try to roll straight longbow and try to hit like
I
last
guess
time.
you should have done the hunter's mark instead.
No, it's fine. At this point, if I was that boy, I'd be surprised if you hit me. Therefore, you have sneak attack.
Oh. Is that how it works?
I don't know if the
Yes.
damage would matter as much as I want advantage. All right, I'm rolling. Okay.
Oh no!
Did I hit?
Yes, you hit Bastion and his other calf. No.
My
No,
legs
no,
are
no,
always getting fucked up.
No, I'm just kidding. You unfortunately miss horribly, partially because the bowstring broke.
Partially because the bowstring broke.
Yeah. So, ping.
The other bit was partially because your aim was bad.
Yeah.
You
So-
suck, yeah.
So unfortunately, you miss. I'm
crushed.
sorry.
Daelric, if I roll a 1d100 and I get a 100, can we say that the arrow wildly flew through the air and then ended up landing on it?
You know what? You go right ahead. You go right ahead.
Oh,
I'm feeling lucky.
I saw the 0 there.
I
And I
know.
asked
Oh,
Yeah,
how
I know. I was like, now it's a 1 in 10. Like, oh, that's funny.
Okay, I miss.
Yeah, miss. So and the bowstring broke, so unfortunately, that thing got away.
Uh-huh.
Tal, are you continuing to exert yourself?
Yeah.
Con save at disadvantage. You pass out. You still provide for this last round the advantage to a strength check. This is too much. Lack of air, things in your lungs, so on and so forth. You pass out. Bastion, it's your turn. Strength save. Strength check, whatever. Probably strength. You push this thing as hard as you can, and despite the fact that, you know, Rick is not doing much by way of aid, he does actually clear off, Bran does clear off enough things, enough stuff from like the top area that allows you to actually push the angle out slightly enough, like the big beam that you're pushing. You overturn it the way you were pushing, my apologies, gets debris out of the way, so as you're pushing this large beam, remove some of the debris. So as you push it so much, it ends up catching on enough broken joists down below in the actual basement floor or whatever. Ends up pushing through enough broken joists and rubble and everything that's down there that it catches. And now as you're heaving and pushing, it's just straight lifting debris. You get it to a point where you actually see, bloodied and injured, him down below and passed out. You believe you might pop a hernia, but you believe you can hold it long enough that someone can pull him free. But he's a big boyo, and he's down there and passed out. You lock your legs, you lock your back, you know, you're holding your arms, your whole body is like almost like a straight arrow, holding this to the extent that you can. And there's like a bit of a grunt. It's like, you're like,
You can hear like muscles popping. Things like.
I need one of you to get him.
And that brings us to
I've got this.
Oh no!
Bran starts dropping down into the rubble.
It's fine. If you fail this, Tal's gonna wake up and grab you and say, "Together."
Somebody could have given you the health points to do so, but unfortunately, Streamlabs is broken. All right. So, anyways, you hop down there, Bran. I start grabbing and pulling at him. This is a whole totally different strength check.
Actually, before I roll anything, would I know that healing him would help, or is it like, he's still kind of like without air? He might
You
still
know,
die.
it's without the air. It's going to be a bit different. This is like a lesser restoration would help versus the healing.
Okay.
Do you want to try to manipulate magics to do that?
No.
just give me the kiss of life. Come on, dude.
Start making out with him.
I'll give you something to kiss.
You grabbing him and you're trying to like pull up at him, but unfortunately he's just such a big boy. And the way that the beam had been like I said, the way it had grabbed its pivot down at the bottom end, ended up kind of like clipping onto part of his clothes. So as you try to pull him, it's like got part of his shirt. So it's like you try
He's
to
not
pull
got a shirt.
Yeah.
his trousers. So you try to pull at him, and it's like ripping his pants open, his skirt or whatever it is, where his kilt open. It's like ripping it open as you try to pull, but unfortunately it's snagged at the moment. Luis, you've been slowly inching your way towards anyways, firing shots. So you're right there if you want to drop down with your broken bow. If you want to drop down and assist, or do you want to do something else?
You just insult me? Yeah, I'll drop down and assist. Is it a... It's just a flat strength? Wow.
Athletics, right?
Strength check.
You not allow athletics for that?
Neither of them
The
are trained in
purpose?
athletics anyways. Right?
It's still athletics though.
Hold on, are you trained in athletics there, Messi?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Okay, well, yeah.
So he also goes down and starts grabbing, and not, the two of them together as individual checks. No advantages or anything like that yet. Next time they will. One of them will sacrifice for the other to roll with advantage. Doesn't matter, they both have the same modifier. It's just who wants to take blame or get credit. So both pulling and yanking at him, but not able to get him out. This loops us around to Tal. Roll me one death save.
Whoa, I've got air right now.
You also have lungs filled with all sorts of debris and nasty and so on and so forth. It's effectively like drowning.
I'd go so far as to disagree.
Roll
You
me a
did
death
get
save.
natural 1 on your save at some point. So
I mean, yeah, but yeah.
You physically exerted yourself inhaling more of that crap. Okay.
Hey.
Ha!
Hey.
Why does it say 1 HP? That's not how it works.
Well, it just gave me 1 HP.
That's
I mean, I don't want to say it's written in stone, Scott,
but that's
the
actually
game
like
tells us it.
it
Yeah.
automatically ticked it up on my character sheet.
look it up in the PHP. That's not how it works when you roll a down 20 on a death save. It just counts as 2 successes.
I don't write the rules, Scott.
Do me a favor, just so I know I'm not being crazy. Can you look that up?
Yeah, sure.
Natty 20 on it just counts as 2 successes.
Where would I find it? Death
I love
save.
that it automatically healed him too.
It
Yeah.
just did it. It didn't like give me a choice. It was like, you are healed.
That's because I turned on a feature.
Constant is unnecessary.
I turned on an API for the game, so that's why it's like tracking your arrows and your spells and stuff.
Death saving throws. Ah! Rolling a 1 or 20. When you make a death saving throw and roll a 1 on the d20, it counts as 2 failures. If you roll a 20 on the d20, you regain 1 hit point. PHB, page 197.
You go, and you come to, and just like you were saying beforehand, you reach out and you grab.
Together.
It's set in stone. My apologies. You reach out and you
Wow.
grab him, and now you're able to start pulling up together. I will then allow. This is where it's important, Bastion. He is going to help. He's going to be able to continue to assist and push against this thing. You have, and do not fail this one, a strength save with advantage.
Yeah, otherwise all three of us splat.
Strength save.
Now they're all compromised. Strength, yeah, a strength check, whatever it's been this whole time.
Oh,
With
athletic
advantage.
check.
My apologies.
That doesn't matter. It's the same thing, I think. Unless you want me to switch it.
Your whole body is trembling. You're pouring sweat. This thing is trying to force itself back down, crushing all of them, but you'd be safe. Which you're trying to find new friends. But you could just barely hold it there. You guys, the strongest amongst you. With advantage.
That's me. Yeah?
With advantage.
I always get. Oh, okay. Well, let's see.
So Tao wakes up, grabs them both under his arms.
No,
Dad's
not that crazy. Come on. So you are able to hold the beam enough, give him the assistance so that he doesn't drop it on you guys. And you're able to like rip yourself free without breaking. This is when Natty 20 comes in, without ripping off your kilt. Rip yourself free and start clambering up. I imagine one of the two of them is having a bit of a hard time climbing up themselves, or even able to like reach down and pull down. The whole while hacking up a lung as you're doing this. And eventually, like, once everybody's cleared free, once everybody looks clear, you see Bastion just kind of like step back and allow the whole thing to the ground, all the rubble beneath your feet shifts. Everybody kind of like falls to their asses. Bastion, everybody falls down as everything's shifting beneath you. And finally, you're all safe.
I'm on my ass. I'm like.
I'm on my ass as well.
Why don't we take this moment of relief to relieve ourselves? We're gonna take a break. We'll be back in just a moment, so everybody can continue with the.
No, I'm not sure I can relieve myself in 4 minutes.
If you only need like 10 seconds or so, that's fine too, you know.